Yeah, man, it's your boy Alfred once again, and welcome back to another video. And today's video is entitled "The Journey to Your Masculinity Will Never Be Smooth Sailing." Your journey to your masculinity will never be smooth sailing. Right now, what do I mean? As we grow and we develop, and because this channel is all about developing, seeing the best version of yourself, self-improving, and eventually seeing the masculine you, the God self. It only means that you are going on a journey, whether inside, usually inside, from the inside, right? But what I want to remind man, right, is that it's not going to be smooth sailing. Smooth sailing means that don't expect things will just be, smooth. Things are going to be rough. Things do get rough, right? Things are going to be hard, right? And definitely you're going to be tested on your way to your masculinity, on your way to create the masculine self. This is why we're here, right? We want to create the masculine self, the best version of us. We need to be men. At the end of the day, we need to move away from who we were, right, to who we are supposed to be, right? That's the version that we want to see, right, as we develop in life. But that version has to have masculine traits as a man, because this will differentiate you from women. It will differentiate you from these males. I don't call them men, I call them males, and definitely differentiate you from boys. If you do not embrace your manhood, your masculinity, right, you'll be thrown together with those who have forfeited their masculinity, right, or those who have not developed yet, the boys, right, the young men, they have not yet developed that masculinity. They're young, so they have the time. But if you are 35 and above, right, and you want to you have to differentiate yourself, right, then you have to cultivate that masculinity, your masculine powers, the masculine self, the God self. But I'm here to remind you that it's not going to be smooth sailing, meaning that it's definitely going to be full of challenges. I'm going to do the cliche of not using hard, difficult, right, because that may put us in a very negative mindset. Because life in itself is not supposed to be difficult. It's not supposed to be hard, especially for men, because we are supposed to find solutions to our daily and lifelong journey. But all in all, we are going to come about challenges. These are the challenges. These are the things that we come across, and then we think that we cannot we cannot move to the other side, or we cannot get to the vision that we envision. But those are challenges. Now, as I say, it's not gonna be easy sailing. However, for each man, the universe has given us things, or innate things especially, that will help us navigate through the difficult times, or through the challenging times. The thing is, we should not look at the other man, the next man. Why? Because that man has his own challenges to overcome. That man has his own quote-unquote difficulties, right? That man has his own resistance, things that are resistant. And I see the big mistake that a lot of men are doing, and this is why they're not moving forward, they're not advancing in anyhow, because now they want to look at the next man, and then they want to be the next man. But what happened is that they're not equipped to be or to overcome those challenges because they're not in the same path. Each man has to walk his own path to his God self, to his masculinity, and create and cultivate his masculinity in his own way. You're alone in this. Yeah. Like I said, some people will use outside things that are outside of them, which is this. Sometimes there's nothing wrong with maybe you getting help, getting advice, proper advice, especially from someone who's been there, who has walked the walk. This is where also you should watch out, otherwise you might get duped by con men and people who actually are going to mislead you. But a man has to cultivate that lifestyle himself. He has to cultivate that masculinity himself, by himself. You may have teachers, you may have coaches, yes, but they won't always be there, especially during tests. When the universe is testing you, your coach won't be there. When the universe is challenging you in a different angle, the coach, your teacher will not be there. Now, how you handle those things is when you advance. This is how you advance. When you're all alone, by yourself, tackling those challenges. And that's why I'm reminding you, it's not going to be smooth sailing. And besides, as the saying goes, smooth seas never made a tough sailor. It goes something like that. I think you know what I mean, right? Only rough seas will make a great sailor. That's why life in itself for many men is all about challenges most of the time. Now, this does not mean that you won't get time to chill. Most definitely you will. You won't get time to be happy and enjoy. It's a big part of life. You have to enjoy. It's a must. Right? But to get to that point, for a majority of men, we have to struggle. Why? Because we have to create our own path. We have to create our own journey. We have to walk our own journey. Yes, there are those who definitely, right, have inherited the blessings of their parents, grandparents. We should look at those. Even they have their own challenges. But then if they're blessed enough to have inherited whatever they've inherited from their parents, because their parents worked hard and then created a lifestyle where those that their children do not have to struggle, right, much, at least. It's all good and dandy, but we're not supposed to look at them and think to ourselves, they have it better. That will throw us off trail, to get us out of our square, because now we're looking at the next man and thinking it's the grass is green on the other side, when sometimes it's not. Just because someone has everything, has inherited a lot, does not mean that he's happy. But that's not the case. The case here is that you have to find your own happiness outside of the influence of other people. But again, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be smooth sailing. And it's a good thing, because this is where boys are separated from men. This is how the cream rises to the top. Once you reach that pinnacle, right, your pinnacle of manhood, whereby now you think to yourself, oh, people can even attest to that okay, this guy, he's been putting in the work. You can only reach that pinnacle, that apex of your masculinity, when you put in the work, whether it's mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever. Every man has to find out where they're supposed to put in the work. Once you've reached that, right, that pinnacle, right, this is where now you can at least tell yourself or see for yourself or be yourself and say, okay, where do I go from here? What is it that I can accomplish from here? Because what has happened is that you have not neglected the things that you're supposed to do, right? And then the universe will grant you, right, all that is due to you. It will grant you. It's this never fails. It never fails as long as you put in the work, the proper work. No shortcuts, no cutting corners, no manipulating, trying to manipulate, no magic, no miracles. Cut corners, that's when you are setting yourself back. And that's when you're going against universal laws. The universe will just simply, if you are in line, for example, and then you are number 100, try to skip line, go to probably 50, the universe will take you to 300, back to 300. Because now what you're trying to do is go against principle. You're not patient. Patient is a virtue, meaning that that's where you learn. When you're patient enough, you're not cutting corners. It means you're willing to walk the straight line. Those who cut corners, you're going to meet. When you walk the straight line, right? Those who are cutting corners, you're going to meet. While you're moving forward, you're going to meet them going back, because they have to go back and do what they're supposed to do, and relearn or learn what they're supposed to learn. That's it. So don't worry about people who are cutting corners. Don't worry about people who are trying to cheat the system and all that shit. It's impossible. You cannot cheat the system. You cannot cheat game. You cannot cheat the universe. That's impossible. You cannot. You have to walk a straight line. That's how you learn. That's how you grow. When you walk on straight lines, it does not mean that you won't get favors here and there. It does. The universe does favor anyone. It may even favor people who are cutting corners. But when the test comes and you don't know what to do, then you have to go back to square one. But if you have not been cutting corners and you've learned what you're supposed to learn, you will be elevated to new levels. That's how it goes. You will be elevated because the universe wants those who walk the straight lines. Because you have experience, you have wisdom, and you definitely have patience to learn, to endure. You're able to, it shows that you're able to endure. You're telling the universe, I'm able to endure what most will not. I'm able to be consistent with this. When people quit, or people now are taking corners, I'm able to withstand, the pressure when most people fold. That's what you're telling the universe. And definitely the universe sees you and says, okay, this motherfucker is about it. Let's upgrade him. Then things start going your way. Niggas become jealous. That's when you know you've upgraded. Niggas looking at you sideways and shit. Chicks, right? Chicks are now smiling teethy. Smiling at you. Because they know that you put in the work. They cannot deny it. That's their nature. You've upgraded to you. They're now responding to your masculinity. But once again, there's not going to be a smooth sailing until you get to the apex man that you envision. So before I close, I just want to say, for those who have started the journey, for those who are almost completing the journey, those who are continuing. By the way, it's a continuous thing, right? But there's some things that you're like, okay, shit, this is where I want to be. But you know that there's still things that you have to continue with. But for those who are on the journey, keep on going. You don't stop. The resistance will be there. The challenges will be there. Haters, there's no doubt they'll be there. Right? Jealous niggas will be there. Right? Gatekeepers will be there. But your masculinity will open all that up. No matter how much the gatekeeper hates you, he'll be forced by the universe or by those who want to see you there. He'll be forced to open that gate for you, and there's nothing he can do about it, whether he hates you or not. He has to. Why? Because the universe wants it that way. He understands that you are him. You've put in the work. With that said, man, this has been Alfred. Till next time, I hope that was insightful. Peace.